on YouTube alone. 300 million just on our channels. 300 million. So we're on the channel. The new channel is YouTube. Over half the video views online in the world are on YouTube. Does that answer your question, Daniel?
It does. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, sir. I think I got time to jam in one more. John in Michigan, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Alex. Great to talk to you about. I'll make it quick. I studied the Dmitry Kalazov videos. I'm sure you've seen those about the nuclear demolition of World Trade Center. There's only a problem of a psychological problem that people have with a nuclear device being activated in the city of New York, and I was wondering what your take is on that.
5 years ago, 5 years ago, or 6, I guess time flies. I keep saying 5. Can't believe 10 years has gone by. I think it was about 6, 7 years ago. I saw online the radioactive isotope readings and thought they were fake. And I actually had to go join a major nuke monitoring site. I even had to subscribe. And sure enough, it was true. I mean, I spent like a week trying to ferret out if this was real. And it is true. Isotopes of an atomic blast went off the charts at ground zero. Now, some nuclear radiologists argued that those isotopes could have been released out of certain types of equipment, but that it was too high. But the evidence does point towards multiple mini atomic detonations, just like they knew from Fukushima. Independent scientists got the isotopes showing there had been fission explosions, and the Mach 3 plutonium reactor on that Monday after had blown. Now, for 3 months, Japan lied. It's now confirmed. They had a complete atomic explosion meltdown at the Mach 3, number 3 Mach reactor. And so, yes, but I don't even go there because you start getting into that, people just don't get handheld nuclear weapons. They don't even know about Davy Crockett's and shoulder-launched and frogs and things like that. Anything else, sir?
I appreciate it. Do you ever think about having him on as an interview, or is that too far?
No, that's a great idea. We'll try to get him on. Now with the nightly news, we have even more time for guests as well. Every weeknight, 7 p.m. Central, prisonplanet.tv. We're simulcasting this radio show. This is a TV show. We'll be right back. Stay with us. More calls straight ahead. Alex Jones here with vital information concerning our nation's fragile food supply. Folks, there are some truly dangerous trends forming, and I think it's important for my listeners to do 3 things right away. Number 1, study the past. History really does repeat itself. Number 2, learn to spot the dangerous food shortage trends. Number 3, take decisive action. A perfect storm is brewing, or a global food crisis. That's why I'm telling everyone to read the new book, Rising Prices, Empty Shelves. Warning signs that trigger the deadliest famines in history. Don't get caught unprepared when the crisis hits. This book is only available at risingpricesemptyshelves.com. You'll also get a free copy of Supermarket Survival, How to Cut Your Grocery Bills in Half. Again, that website is risingpricesemptyshelves.com. That's risingpricesemptyshelves.com. Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones. I'm looking for people that have the wisdom to spot savings, opportunity, and recognize risk. Saving means to make money. The Cal Ben Pure Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated and twice as good as what you're using now. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils that contain no useless dyes, perfumes, deodorants, or antibacterials. Your risk is the hundreds of hazardous toxic detergents that give you rashes, itching sores, and deteriorating clothing called lint. If you want something better, if you want something you've never had before, you have to do something you've never done before. Getting a free catalog is easy by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com. Take charge of your health now by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com. A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica, the number 3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. Hello, friends. Alex Jones here. You all know I've worked for years with Steve Shank and eFoods Direct. I have eFoods for my own emergency food supply. You know, Steve, life is different now for all of us, isn't it?
Very different. People are using this great food to survive the present hurricane season, and we've already had $40 billion worth of damage from floods, storms, quakes, and droughts. And that's just the first 8 months of this year. Natural disasters are newsworthy, but only touch a few of us Americans. The huge issue of the Greatest Depression is on everyone's mind. The unemployment, the loss of homes, lost businesses, and skyrocketing food costs are hitting every American, so everyone needs food security.
Folks, this month you will get free shipping on every food order from eFoods Direct. That's right, every order gets free shipping starting September 6th. Get stocked up with the best storable foods out there with eFoods Direct, and be prepared for any emergency before it happens. To take advantage of this special, call 800-409-5633 or go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Okay, the balance of the transmission is totally dedicated to your calls. I'm going to try to keep my answer short. 877-789-2539. If you disagree, 877-789-ALEX. I'd love to hear from you. Let's hurry through these calls. Debbie in North Carolina, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hi, Alex.
Hi.
I want to add something to the conversations about freedoms. I had a response to your other question. Did you know that I have some friends that are the Mao Christian Chinese, and do you know that they tell me that they have terrorist attacks inside their country? They have all these riots, and when they go to fly on a plane in China, they don't have a TSA checking them out. Yeah, China is having real terrorism, and when you have real terrorism, or people fighting the communist government, it's called terrorism, they ignore it. See, by the way, there are real terror attacks in America that I've learned about over the years, but you're never told about them. There are like you hear about a chemical plant blowing up. Some of those are like angry employees, whatever. But you don't hear about it. When you see instant PR and instant talking points, you know it's staged. I mean, for people that aren't in media, they just don't understand this. There's pre-packaging. They're ready for it. They're staging it. And the local media doesn't know. They just kind of go with what the nationals are putting out, but that's where it's staged. Well, as a lawyer, this really does disturb me. In fact, they laugh about it. It's sad. They laugh. They say, you're losing your freedoms, and we're gaining more in China. Oh, listen. That's what they tell me. That's what they tell me. Paul Watson's wife works with us now. She updates stories and stuff, does a great job. She's got like 2 degrees. But is working for Infowars.com right now. And she's lived in England a long time, but she's Chinese. And Paul now has been to Chinese 3 or 4 times to China. And he says China is completely free compared to England and the U.S. That's why tourism's down $40 billion a year now in the U.S. People won't come here. They're like, what? And again, it's not about security. If you're select groups, the government lets you in. It's for the general public. It's slave training, Debbie. Well, what people have to realize that this is getting really sick, that if we don't stand up for our rights, we're going to end up like the Chinese did under Mao. You hear me? We're going to end up like the Chinese were under Mao. And who knows? Maybe it'll be China coming to our rescue because they want our natural resources. Well, I'm going to be honest. I've actually made a study of it. The Chinese people are super hardcore freedom. They are super hardcore anti-communist. You've got less than, 2% or our inner party running 6.5 billion people. And they have something like 700 riots a week or something. I mean, cops beat somebody to death there. They kill 20 cops. I mean, so the government
That's the issue with China, is the communists are on the verge of falling. I appreciate your call. Great points, Debbie. No, Chinese are just great people. I mean, they really have been through hell. And again, thank you, Debbie. And so Americans went through tyranny and wanted liberty, and we became this great place. Now we're the great-great-grandchildren of these people. We're a bunch of spoiled brats. People just think freedom is just going to be there like flipping a light switch and the light comes on. People don't understand. It's very hard to keep freedom, as Thomas Jefferson said. He said, even if you defend it 110%, you're probably not going to be able to keep it. But if you're like, oh, I'm going to, you know, there's a football game on today, the Browns versus the Bengals. I'm going to see how Colt McCoy's doing. If America wasn't in all this trouble, that could be what you were obsessed with. Jane in California, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Alex, I've been listening to the show like 5 years now. I just love the information you provide. I just was, I think it was the president. The reason I'm not sure is because I just barely caught it. But it was during one of those sick celebrations this morning. And to all the Christians in the audience, you all should have been sick to your stomach, because I think he was quoting a psalm. And I was thinking, you no more believe in the Bible than we all believe in 9/11 and the official story.
Well, listen, I could hire top speechwriters and have them write speeches and sit here and read off a teleprompter and look like I'm sincere. He reads off a teleprompter. I don't like Bill Clinton. But I'll tell you, Bill Clinton actually was as close to a president actually running things since JFK. Not a good guy, but Bill Clinton's actually a globalist. He's actually very high level. He actually, you know, would barely sleep to know policy. He's a globalist, but Bill Clinton didn't need teleprompters. I mean, with Obama, he will not speak. Teleprompters have broken before, and he can't talk. He is an actor reading off a teleprompter, so it's fun to hate him. He's an unsavory globalist, but at the end of the day, he's a total puppet, Jane.
Pretty scary. Well, I just have one question. Because I am blind, I find it hard to really, like in 2 minutes, tell somebody the evidence of why we shouldn't believe the official story. What would you say would be the absolute, if you just had one piece of evidence you could present?
Okay, we have an article up on the site today, all bibliograph with links to mainstream media, with 6 of the 10 commissioners saying there's a criminal cover-up and they don't know what happened with 9/11. And the government could be involved. I mean, you can tell them 6 of the 10 commissioners and 2 of the 3 lawyers are saying there's a cover-up. Sybil Edmonds, the FBI NSA translator, heard the Pentagon in command of al-Qaeda and bin Laden on the day of 9/11. That's come out in federal court. I would just tell them Google Building 7. And Google police say get back from Building 7. Yeah, but I didn't just have the CNN and other clips, a cop saying get back. I've gone to New York and actually interviewed the cops who were on the tape.
Today's the first day I ever heard about this part where the reporter was saying it and the building was still standing. You know, now if my husband had still been here, you know, he probably would have told me that if he'd seen that clip. But
no, they don't want to. Building 7 is not mentioned in the giant 9/11 Commission report. It is not mentioned. Rumsfeld's been asked about it on Eric Mancow Mueller's show and said, I don't know about that. That building doesn't exist. And he sounded really, I mean, they don't want to discuss it because they screwed up that day. By the way, the CIA was based in the building. And then, of course, the deputy head of emergency management went public about bombs in the building and died 1 month after being on the show of one of those fast-acting cancers. Okay, he was threatened and changed his story, and then they said he still can't be trusted, get rid of him. Barry Jennings, oh yeah, if you're an actual eyewitness, quote, an authority, you start blowing the whistle, it's bye-bye, bye-bye, Birdie. Let's go ahead and take another call here. Angie in North Carolina, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. I have a question and an interesting little piece of information. It wasn't until about a year or 2 after September 11th that I really began to search for answers. I knew that day that the towers were demolished. I just assumed I think like most people did, that bombs were planted by terrorists in the building beforehand. So I started searching for answers after that and eventually made my way to you. And recently I decided to look for